Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in watching this video. It's your boy Robbie. We are back for another react. This one is going to be coming from the YouTube channel Maury. Crypto scammer steals life savings from cancer patient. So this is where we at now in 2026. We're stealing money from people who are on their deathbed. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what happens when technology decides to be put at the forefront of everything. This is what people are doing. Let's not waste no time, y'all. Let's get to the video. Let's see what the hell this character got going on.
So this fucker right here has got to be one of the most evil motherfuckers I've seen to date. This guy right here. So basically, he ran a large Steam-based Trojan horse operation, which spread malware to over 8,000 devices from people who downloaded his game called, I think, Battle Blockers. Actually, it's called Block Blasters, Dashverse, Lampy, Lunara, and Pirate Fi. They say 21-year-old Florida resident and student Zaire Wilkins, in connection with an alleged scheme involving malware, infected video games uploaded to Steam. According to federal complaint, Wilkins and several unnamed co-conspirators allegedly published multiple games over a 2-year period, including the games I listed before: Block Blasters, Dashverse, Lampy, Lunara, and Pirate Fi. Authorities say the games appeared functional, but secretly installed malware designed to steal passwords, personal data.
Wow, so now Steam is going to get hit with all of these lawsuits and everything because people's, what is
this? And cryptocurrency. Now, what makes the situation...
This thing down here says the FBI alleges the operation infected about 8,000 computers, compromised approximately 80 crypto wallets. Wow. And now Steam is going to have to take the hit. They're going to have to take the blame for this because y'all allowed this character to upload these games on your platform, and you opened the floodgate for people to download it to their computer and put malware on there and still important banking information.
Just incredibly bad. It's not only great. I mean, people are storing their life saving in crypto, and you have software that is on your device. You think it's just simply a pixelated game, a 2D pixel platform based game, which turns out to be basically a virus that scans. Essentially, I'm going to play this video for you guys here, but it scans your computer, collects private data, cookies and passwords, and most importantly, they're going for crypto keys, right? But the situation is so bad that this scumbag actually stole the crypto keys, over $200,000, that this cancer patient saved in their wallets after downloading this game. Wow. When I first heard this, bro, I was like, this can't be real. This is devastating. You know, imagine stealing money from a cancer patient who's probably going to use this for life, you know, vital drugs needed for life or death situations. You know, it's actually disgusting.
If I'm Steam, I would definitely be like, look, don't even worry about it. You know, how much was it? We'll send you that money. We'll put it in your bank account. Zoom. No issue. You know what I'm saying? It's crypto. It's in a computer. It's nothing for you to just go ahead and reverse that, fix that. Y'all gonna have to do something anyway because this affected multiple people. You know what I mean?
Like, genuinely, there are people out here with no heart whatsoever.
A 21-year-old in Florida just found out what happens when you try to turn the world's biggest gaming platform into your personal bank account. For nearly 2 years, a group of criminals used Steam as a launch pad to infect thousands of computers, drain hundreds of thousands of dollars, and ruin lives in real time. In March of 2026, the FBI took the step of issuing an urgent public warning to...
But y'all want to get rid of physical games, though. Y'all want everybody to just be downloading games off the internet, and this is what you get. This is what paying $80, $100, however much money you're paying for these games, this is what it gets you. Somebody that can go download something into your computer, affect it, and start draining your bank account of all of its money. This is why y'all want to get rid of physical games. It's stupid, man. Like, it's just stupid.
Steam users.
And it said here, seeking victim information in Steam malware investigation. The FBI Seattle division is seeking to identify potential victims installing Steam games embedded with malware. The FBI believes the threat actor primarily targeted users between the time frame of May 2024 and January 2026 with the games aforementioned.
They begged victims to step forward. Behind the scenes, federal agents were silently building a massive case. This week, that investigation exploded in into a full-scale federal raid. The FBI officially arrested and charged a suspect named Zaire Wilkins. We are talking about infected indie games and a hilariously lazy mistake involving a food delivery app.
Now, the crazy thing about this is that this just seems like a totally generic, innocuous game, right? Basic platformer game type pixel art, very positive reviews, very positive. Those may be botted reviews in and of itself, but you wouldn't suspect a thing if you were just a regular person, an old person, a kid, just anybody who likes platformers.
Involving a food delivery app. The FBI.
You see, this is why my black ass, I continue to play the old school games. I got the Sega Genesis Mini over here, and I be on this joint going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Playing that Sonic the Hedgehog, the World of Illusions with Mickey Mouse. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the type of stuff that you got to be mindful of when you go and you buy games off the internet and download them into your computer. Your $1,000 gaming PC, however much you spent, and you got to now be worried about your banking information being compromised or even your computer acting stupid, running slow. Yeah, I don't got time for that.
I managed to crack open one of the most sophisticated Steam malware cases by tracking the suspect's late-night Uber Eats orders. Today, we are breaking down exactly how this operation worked, how these developers bypassed Steam security, and the way the government caught them. Steam hosts over 100,000 games.
Honestly, I'm so glad that I'm just not an experimental type of gamer. I'm so glad that I'm pretty much a normie when it comes to games. In fact, I don't even PC game anymore. The last game I played was on console, and that was God.
Yeah, I mean, and I got games on this PC. I have Steam on my PC, but yeah, I wasn't one of these people that got hit by that. But I mean, y'all see on this back wall, I got PlayStation 4 games, I got PS3 games, I got Nintendo Switch games up there. Like, I'm a casual, typical gamer, traditional gamer. Not to say that I don't play on PC, but y'all just seen I got the Sega Genesis joint and I got the Super NES Mini up there on the shelf too. Like, yeah, I don't got time for this. I want to be able to play my game and know that my game is being played and my banking information is not being taken. My money's not being taken.
Of course, and I love that, but it's I just, you know, it's actually kind of crazy how just being a normie sticking to the mainstream part of the gaming sphere can save you sometimes.
Valve does their best to police the platform. Bad actors are constantly looking for a weak point, which is where hijacking developer accounts turned into a big problem. Between May 2024 and January 2026, a group of developers found a massive vulnerability in how Valve reviews game updates. These developers launched a series of small, incredibly generic indie games. Some of these games were built using basic pre-made assets. On the surface, they looked like low-budget indie projects. They were functional enough to pass Valve's initial security checks and get published on the official Steam store.
Like, if you were a parent, this is the type of game you would probably install for your 10-year-old kid to just, you know, fuck around.
Right. It doesn't
play.
look. It looks harmless. It looks like a typical 2D platformer side scroll, and yeah, nothing too crazy. I wouldn't think nothing of it. I wouldn't suspect anything.
A platformer that's not too filled with brain slop and degenerate modern Battlefield, Battlegrounds. I meant Battle Royale, microtransaction slop that'll destroy your bank account, you know?
This is where the trap was set. Once a game was live on Steam, the developers would push out a standard update. To the average player, these updates just seemed like simple patches. This malware was designed to run silently in the background, completely invisible to standard antivirus programs.
I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Any coding nerds in the chat, in the comment section, can tell me, what am I looking at here? Apparently this is the virus here. All this
hieroglyphics, you know what I'm saying? Encryptions. What is this?
These things, these .exes, these are like install apps, right? That you open and install,
The moment a player launched the updated game, the malicious code would immediately begin crawling through their system. It harvested saved browser cookies, autofilled data, account passwords,
Chrome, Edge, Brave, Vivaldi, Opera, GX2. So
I took a computer programming class while I was in high school in my senior year, and man, like, coding is no joke. Like, my only saving grace to passing that class was I had a guy in there. I think he might have been a sophomore, I believe, a black kid, mad cool, but he was like a nerd in a way. You know what I'm saying? And so I pretty much got cool with him, and he helped me through that class. You know what I'm saying? I forgot his damn name too. I forgot his name. But he was mad cool though. and he would basically kind of like help me with the coding and how to, like, just to make a bouncing ball bounce on a screen, the amount of code that you need for that. And one wrong semicolon or colon, one wrong thing and the whole thing will crash. Like, you got to make sure everything is on point. So yeah, seeing this just takes me back to those days when I was in high school, man.
I guess it's actually going into all the cached files looking for saved passwords. That much I think I can understand what's happening.
Authentication tokens, and most importantly, local cryptocurrency wallets and private seed phrases. While some of these games had incredibly low player counts, sometimes even under 10 players, they didn't need millions of downloads to be highly profitable. They only needed a few of the right targets. The developers aggressively promoted these games across Discord, Telegram, X, and LinkedIn. According to the official 15-page...
I'm not gonna lie, I actually fell for one of these games one time, but it wasn't through Steam. It was through a quote-unquote friend that was added on my friends list. I forgot. They used to be a part of the community. Don't know what happened to them, but their account was hijacked. He was like a coder himself, so I was under the presumption he was coding something. Anyway, long story short, he told me to download this game. I did, like a fucking dumbass, and bro, they got me. They got my entire Discord account. Luckily, my YouTube channels were saved, but it was scary, bro. I literally got on call with these guys. They were from England with their shitty British... no, let me not roast the accent, but bro, the English accent, the whole use of bruv, get fucked, they were telling me. I was like pissed, man. It was a bad time.
Federal criminal complaint. The hackers managed to...
It was a bad time. You know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but when people hijack your computer, damn near about to destroy your entire life with a British accent, something about that just to this day has traumatized
approximately 8,000 individual devices and gain unauthorized access to 80 crypto.
This is why you just best off going ahead and connecting your console to your computer and just streaming the games that you can buy off of. See, because this type of shit, Sony would never let something like this happen. As much backlash as they're getting for getting rid of physical games, which this right here, if this makes enough noise, this may actually make them reconsider going all digital, making games, because if they can so much as go and break through the security of Steam, which is a big company when it comes to, like, they're one of the biggest market, like it's basically like a flea market where you can buy games. They're the biggest one of the biggest. So for the likes of Sony and Microsoft that also sell games, this I would be concerned with. It's like, you might have all the security and everything, but somebody could potentially break through security and start getting people's information off of their consoles, accessing their PlayStation Network accounts where they keep their card information to pay for PlayStation and buy games. I know I'm kind of reaching it because, like, look, this is Sony. They would never let something like this happen, but hey, you never know. You know what I mean?
Cryptocurrency wallets. In total, they stole at least $220,000. One of the most devastating examples of this occurred live on stream. A streamer named Rostaland TV was running a live charity stream to raise money for his cancer treatment. During the broadcast, he downloaded and launched block blasters. The moment the game executed, the background malware instantly detected his local cryptocurrency wallet, and within minutes, $32,000 in funds was drained directly out of his wallet.
I see, when I first saw that, I was like, town square these people. These people, this is why I don't like fraud of any individual people. If you want to scam the government, I'm not going to condone that, but it's not as bad as scamming individual people who you just don't know what their life circumstances are.
And that's because they can't get to the government. They can't hack the government's computer systems and stuff like that, because they'll find out where they are. And then a bunch of guys in black suits pull up in an SUV and like, come with us. And then you're to never be heard from again. See, they don't want them problems, so they go for the little fish. They're like, okay, let me just go and drain this guy's $32,000 out of his account, even though he needs that for his medication and stuff to help, with his disability. You're going to take their money. It's very cowardly of them, you know what I mean? And they're going to get this.
It could be, like in this case, a cancer patient, It could be an old person, their pension. It could be a single mom of 3 kids. It could be an injured vet who served this country. You don't know who you're scamming. I don't condone scamming at all, but if you're going to scam and fraud, people, like, go after the big boys, the billionaires who don't care, the government who have endless money, the multinational, multi-conglomerate corporations where stealing $1 million is like almost a grain of sand on their mile-long beach of funds.
They can't do that though, because they already know what's coming with that. Like I said just a few seconds ago, some dudes pull up in black suits in an SUV. They don't want that. They don't want that, because that's like, okay, you ain't gonna never be heard from again. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want the, so like I said, they're gonna go for the small fish, because going after the big fish, that could really be like a life or death situation. For real, for real. See, this here, if they get caught, at the most they'll do a couple of years, they'll do some Fed time or whatever. But that other situation you taking from billionaires, yeah. Yeah, they want your head for that. Nah.
But stealing from individual people, of which one of them turned out to be a cancer patient, you deserve the worst. And I can't say I'm not trying to get terminated.
This brings us to the federal investigation in March of 2020.
You guys use your imagination.
The FBI released a public seeking victim information portal. They worked directly with Valve to identify everyone who had downloaded the infected titles. Although the games were already removed from Steam at this point, Valve sent out warning emails directly to affected accounts. At the time, some people assumed the hackers were safe, operating out of some far off country.
Yo, let's do some homework real quick, because now I'm curious, how much money does Steam actually generate? Let's look this up real quick. Steam revenue. Okay, Steam generated a record-breaking $11.1 billion in gross revenue during the first half of 2026, driven by strong catalog sales and major hits. Man, go ahead and put that goddamn money back in that cancer patient's account. Let's stop playing games. 11 billion. Come on, man. Give them that money back. Matter of fact, I would give them their money back and some. All of the victims, 8,000 of them.
With no extradition treaty. The reality was different. While the FBI was doing their investigation, federal agents executed a search warrant on the residence of the group's primary developer. When they seized his electronic devices, they uncovered a gold mine of evidence. They found encrypted signal chat logs with a user named Siebel ETH. Siebel was the mastermind financing the entire operation.
And this says, they said the chats showed that Wilkins bought a, and I quote, remote access Trojan program for $10,000. Now, where did he get $10,000 from at 21? They said the primary developer and Wilkins also, and I quote, exchanged messages about a criminal scheme in which they would run, and I quote, draining campaigns, end quote, regarding cryptocurrency wallets. And the two discussed, and I quote, tricking victims into authorizing transactions that instantly empty their wallets, end quote.
And see, these are the dangers of going full digital in this world. A world where everything is digital, cryptocurrency, you know what I mean? Bitcoin and Ethereum, meme coins. Like a world where people no longer use any physical cash. We now have to do everything on the computer. It just leaves more opportunity for people to do cyber crimes. That's all this is going to do. And then people got to now put all of these facial recognition and all these crazy passwords that they got to try to remember just to keep their money safe. Because even in a bank, a digital bank, your money's not safe. Somebody can just pull up, take your money and drive off into digital land. You know what I'm saying?
Sick shit, man. These people, well, they deserve the worst.
One chat record showed Siebel ETH paying $10,000 in cryptocurrency to purchase a highly advanced remote access Trojan program. The developer and Siebel ETH spent months discussing how to run their malicious draining campaigns, coordinating which social media platforms to target, and celebrating their successful thefts. The primary developer was caught red-handed, but the FBI still had a massive problem. Siebel ETH was seemingly using highly encrypted messaging apps and doing everything he could to remain completely anonymous. So to trace Siebel back to a real name and physical address.
Let me guess. They're fucking using Telegram. The amount of goddamn Telegram links you go on Twitter, you see it's just spammed. With any viral post, it's spammed everywhere.
Hell yeah.
Then you have the goddamn bots who message you. And don't.
I just got a text message today saying, can you work any shift from a 202 number? I immediately knew, like, yeah, let me go ahead and report this as spam and delete this out my goddamn messages. Like, you're not going to get me.
Don't even get me started on the emails. These scammers are literally still trying to use email, ancient technology in this day and age. It's actually
the FBI had to follow the money. This is where some people often believe that cryptocurrency makes them completely invisible. They think that as long as they don't deposit the money directly into a traditional bank, the government can't touch them. But the blockchain is public. Every transaction is recorded, and the FBI has some of the best blockchain analysts in the world. Agents tracked the stolen Bitcoin flowing out of the victims' wallets and watched it land in a specific central wallet tied to the situation. From there, the hackers didn't send the money to a standard crypto exchange. Instead, they routed the funds to a website called BitRefill.
Guys, I hope you know that all of this is public, like he said. It can all be tracked with unique characters, unique numbers, which make up the full address. And now,
so it's like, why continue to do this? I be wondering that sometimes. Why do these cyber criminals continue to do what they do as if though they can't be caught? Now, I don't know how to speak. I can't speak for the people in the other countries that be doing this stuff, but it's even crazy over there. And I don't want to say too much, but like with these phone companies, what they'll do is the people overseas in the Philippines and India, they'll get a hold of people's information because our phone numbers are publicly known, and they use this mirroring software where they will go and they will get people's phone numbers, send them a text message, call the customer, telling them, hey, we got a really great deal, because you've been a customer for so long, we're going to pay your bill. We're going to also send you out a free phone. We'll send you a free phone. So if you're someone who's naive and you don't know any better, you'll go along with it. They will have you pay the sales tax. They'll send you the phone, right? And then when you get the phone, as soon as it says delivered, they call you and tell you, hey, such and such, we are so sorry, but we sent you the wrong phone. Here, send it back. Or they'll say, hey, send us the phone so we can program it for you. You send that phone to them, you'll never see that phone again. Mind you, it was the correct phone, but they told you it was the wrong phone. Never will they program, never do, they program your phone. Cell phone companies, they don't do that. Not unless you're in the store. But when you get it delivered to you, they don't do that. And so now you're stuck paying for this phone because it's not free. They don't put a $1,200 financing agreement on your phone bill. And it looks legit because they did it through the website, the company website. So it makes it look like you did it. And so now they done ran off with a phone that they done made a profit off of, and you're the one that got to stay paying for it for the next 3 years. These are the type of scams that I see on a day-to-day basis. It's insane, man. Like that people are getting done like this.
Oh, technically speaking, although it is public, you can anonymize your identity, but you'd have to VPN everything, proxy everything. You'd have to actually use a fake address or an address not associated with you. CCTV, you would have to obfuscate your face. You would have to not use a license plate with any vehicle you're going, to the location to pick up whatever you've purchased there or had delivered there. Like you'd have to think about every single facet and angle that could tie you to your identity. And most people are not thinking about all these things. Most people are very sloppy, and there will always be some type of security vulnerability for the vast majority of people that they just can't even fathom. Technology is crazy. And luckily for us and the FBI, these fuckers weren't that smart.
BitRefill is a platform that allows users to purchase mainstream digital gift cards using various cryptocurrencies. The FBI discovered that Sibo ETH used the stolen cryptocurrency to purchase over 150 digital gift cards. The vast majority of those gift cards were for Uber Eats. The FBI immediately sent a subpoena to Uber. When Uber returned the records, everything fell into place.
How bro bought Uber Eats gift cards linked to his actual identity, and that's how he got caught. How retarded do you have to be? I'm sure, and I just can't think of it right now. There has had to be a better way to cash out and actually use other means of buying food. And if you were going to use an Uber Eats account, right, with Uber Eats gift cards, why would you ever use your real identity? Well, upon, signing up for Uber Eats, you literally do not have to use your real name. You don't even have to use a real number. You could buy a virtual number. Now, if the FBI, I suppose, if they wanted to go to...
But again, there's a thread of trail crumbs. There's a trail of breadcrumbs. They're going to be able to trace back the IP address where, even if you use a fake name, a virtual number, okay, you're going to use a fake name for the virtual number. So eventually it's going to come back to you. They're going to find out who you are.
Great lengths. Obviously, they can know where this food is being delivered, IP addresses, where that virtual number is coming from, et cetera, et cetera. But again, anybody who would have thought about this for more than 5 minutes would have been like, yeah, Uber Eats is a major security vulnerability and risk of which I would get caught for. The better thing to do would to actually find a way of actually cashing out with physical cash and or something else entirely different to, you know, I don't know, buy food in person. I don't know, just a thought.
Cards purchased with the stolen crypto were registered to an Uber account that had ordered deliveries to 2 very specific locations. First, a series of student housing addresses at the University of West Florida. Second, a private residence in North Lauderdale, South Florida. Both of these locations belonged to one person, Zaire Wilkins, a 21-year-old college student. He had successfully deployed custom malware to thousands of computers and had hundreds of thousands of.
But you know, he wasn't the mastermind behind this. He's just the face of it. There's somebody else behind the curtain that was running the operation.
Dollars in stolen digital assets.
I'm actually just exhausted just thinking about the levels of stupidity here. So you have money of which you acquired from fraud by uploading fraud, like virused Steam games of which people downloaded, their money got stolen. You then used all the money you've gotten from those crypto wallets, of which is traceable. It then goes to your wallets. You then use the funds in your wallet to buy whatever you want on any website that accepts crypto. You then, with that traceable money, buy things on that crypto website. In this case, it's an Uber Eats gift card. The fascinating thing to me is that I suppose Uber Eats gift cards, now that I know, I really know, they're traceable, they're trackable. So that means most gift cards are trackable, huh? So yeah. All the FBI really would have to do is find out where those funds were deposited, what wallet, then track that wallet's purchases, see what transactions that wallet is engaged with, find out what products they bought, go to that website, I'm sure they got the information, see which associated codes were attached with the associated gift cards, go to Uber Eats, track where orders were placed and what addresses they were delivered to. Bada bing, bada boom, you're caught. I mean, honestly, once you think about it, it's really not that hard to see how they caught this guy.
His late night food deliveries gave the FBI his exact home address. On Wednesday, July 8th, 2026, tactical federal agents descended on Wilkins' home in North Lauderdale. They executed a search warrant, seizing his computers, phones, and hard drives. According to the arrest report, Wilkins refused to speak with law enforcement during the raid.
Does this guy mean Fort Lauderdale? He said North Lauderdale. Anyway.
Hopefully he got himself enough money for a lawyer to see if he can beat the charges and get a reduced sentence.
Agents analyzed his overall crypto transaction history. They found he had sent or received a staggering $382,000. In the criminal complaint, an FBI agent noted that Wilkins had indeed tried to use privacy coins like Monero to cover his tracks.
I was actually thinking about Monero because that's what I'm pretty much aware of. They say Monero is supposed to anonymize your transaction history. But they say here, one of the seed phrases is for a Monero wallet, an anonymity-enhanced cryptocurrency frequently used by criminals that is difficult to trace between source and destination. An agent wrote in the complaint, based on my training and experience, I know that cyber criminals use Monero to enhance anonymity and the difficulty in cryptocurrency transaction attribution for law enforcement. A review of Wilkins' crypto transaction history showed he sent or received $382,000 according to the complaint.
Following the raid, Wilkins was arrested days later on Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. He made his first appearance in a Fort Lauderdale federal court the very next morning. And
this is just like no soul, but like, look at those eyes. No shame, no regret, no nothing. Nothing behind those eyes. I gotta say, average soulless prick who has no regard from who they are stealing from.
He is currently awaiting extradition to Washington State to face trial. He has been charged with conspiracy to obtain information by computer for private financial gain. Under federal law, this charge carries a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in federal prison.
Damn, we about to do a 10 ball for stealing people's information in crypto? Yeah, you deserve that time. Now, with all of that hard work you put into stealing people's information, if you had just so much as went and started you maybe a YouTube channel or became an internet sensation, you could have made that much money overnight. Because clearly when you look at the brother, it's like, okay, he's got all his hair. He could make something of this, but instead he said, you know what? I'm gonna just go out here and be a cyber criminal. So now you about to face 10 years in jail for stealing $382,000 that you could have made easily with a little bit of hard work. But that's the thing. People want it easy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really wants to put in the work for anything anymore.
Right now, Steam is incredibly accessible to indie developers. Anyone with $100 can pay the Steam Direct fee, upload a basic game, and get it listed on the storefront. While Valve does a great job checking the initial build of a game, we rely heavily on automated systems for updates.
I gotta say, this part of the video right here, though, this is what really fucked with me, man. This right here, just seeing this guy's face, man. Like, it's just brutal, man. Genuinely speak. Hopefully they had a GoFundMe that they were able to use in order to, you know, get those funds back. Because that.
No. Steam need to pay them that money back, though. It happened on your platform. You okayed it, and you allowed these people to put this software on your platform that I went and downloaded. No, y'all need to divvy up the money. Y'all need to pay that bread. Give me my damn crypto money back. Matter of fact, give me that and some for my pain and suffering. Okay? Y'all just pocketed or gross $11.1 billion in revenue in 2026 so far. Now I know some of that costs, you got to put operations costs and stuff like that. So you didn't get to pocket all of that. But the fact that you got billions, not a couple M's, a couple B's. Y'all could give me my money.
That is just sad, beyond sad. Someone said, bro, stealing from a cancer patient is a new low. Another person said, this is why we can't have nice things. Stealing money from someone who is collecting for cancer charity is something else, man. Another person said, that dude's definitely going to rat out his partners. Absolutely. No soul behind those eyes. I see no honor. I see no loyalty.
Like said,
another person said, give him the chair. Unironically, that may not be too far-fetched considering the fact that this money, you know, or lack thereof could have ended up in someone not being able to get life-saving treatment. Someone said, if he's the one that committed the theft during the one charity stream, last I checked, the victim eventually passed away for having been robbed of potentially life-saving treatment. I would love to see a case and be made for a murder charge. Absolutely. I always think about that. You don't know who you're stealing from. You don't know what money you're taking from. Hey, man, if it ends up in someone dying inadvertently because of your actions, I say, hey, I'm all.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, that wouldn't be first degree, but what, like second degree or third degree? One of them. But you would be looking at you'd be looking at prison time and fed time. You'd have to probably do both of those sentences concurrent if that were the case.
I'm all for it. Another person said they actually need to be shot for stealing from a cancer patient, cancer victims treatment fund. That is comically evil stuff. It genuinely, bro, like what the, man, I know this is why I could not be a fraudulent like scam artist. I just couldn't bear, like I would actually have nightmares. Anyway, yo, this is, yeah, fuck that guy.
What's poppin'?
Yeah, it's gonna be the end of the video, y'all. Shout outs to him. Yeah, man. This is why you got to make sure you look after your elderly, because a lot of times they don't even know. They might be clicking on something or somebody called them posing as a certain company and then they fall for it. You got to make sure you tell them, look, don't answer none of those phone calls. All of your bills are automated. I look after your bills. Unless you see my name pop up or somebody else, don't answer the phone, okay? Because it likely could be somebody scamming. This is what you got to start telling people who don't know any better, that there's no reason why somebody should be calling you because all of your bills are paperless. So you got all the apps here that you need to see all your bills. You don't need to be answering the phone from nobody. You know what I mean? Because stuff like this can happen. We really got to start reevaluating if we really want to live in a world where people do everything digital, because we got to deal with this. And it's like, do y'all have the infrastructure and the proper security to protect people's personal information, their banking information? You know what I mean? Like, we got to really, really think this through, for real, for real. But anyway, yeah, y'all let me know if y'all made it this far. If you did, I appreciate you. Make sure you check the like button, sub to the channel, and be sure to sound off in them comments till your asses get kicked out. That being said, it's your boy Robbie. Till the next video, we out of here.